argue it. He just simply
you kind of like really attacked his whole worldview, man.
Yeah, dude. I've been a rabbi for 3 years and a half. Although I resigned.
But Church of the Lavishing Love is close?
Yeah, old habits.
Did you resign in protest?
No, I resigned because I don't do it for free anymore. So if you want to learn about the Bible, you're gonna have to pay me. Like if you want real education, you can come to me. If you want to, that's just what it is. But so because I have something real to offer, Diego, then I expect payment.
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like I promoted Bitcoin back in the day.
Plenty of positions.
And I don't talk about it anymore. You don't have to pay me if you want to talk about it.
Exactly. Education doesn't come for free.
Yeah.
I don't have as much Bitcoin as Rico.
I did plant the seed.
No, not as much as Rico.
I did plant the seed of doubt, and I told them until you reconcile with you will never have a day of rest up until you come with an answer to this question.
Until you come.
Tell me what you disagree with.
Exactly, and that's the truth. They're just not going to be able to cover.
So you would respect Simon more if he was like David, where he doesn't have a justification; he just has a.
No, I respect Simon. I would appreciate him more if he understands that which he criticizes. Simon is the type of nigga who criticizes the Titanic, but he never read it. He never watched it. Sorry, he never watched the movie, but he's writing reviews about it. Which is fine. It's totally fine. It's just that I believe when you review things, like there should be something. Like this guy didn't watch the movie. Like it should make that thing somehow. We should be able to identify.
At least he's consistent.
I don't think Simon is. I don't think he's consistent. I think he betrays his own principles out of convenience.
I use mine.
I'll give you an example. Tax evasion. He thinks tax evasion is immoral. Although by his standard, he should not be saying that.
Nor do
I think his position has shifted on that.
No, taxation is theft.
You see, no, because he doesn't think taxation is theft. See, you have to start with that point.
I also...
And I told him, this is an English language problem. You don't speak English properly, you just don't understand the definition of taxation.
If he doesn't think taxation is theft, then he shouldn't talk about socialism or capitalism. He clearly doesn't understand it. Or freedom. Or he should not be talking about freedom. He should not be talking about property rights, for example.
Which is a great interview, though.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
So
what you believe is in conditional property rights.
Conditional.
And he believes in taxes. That means you believe that the one who...
All lies.
So you believe that whoever knows how to make money shouldn't have the money.
You can watch the interview here with candidate Congressman John Kitover below. I didn't try to use your
How do you figure that?
mine. I'm also not irrelevant, nor do I compulsively.
Because I believe I would rather...
All lies.
I would rather pay my tax to Elon Musk than the government. Elon Musk will put my money to better use than the government.
You mean you'd rather pay $10,000 a year to X than
to Elon Musk?
You get more value out of. Hey, I don't own any stocks, so and I'm pro markets.
What capital does he own? Okay, fine, but you do own Bitcoin. That's capital. You own other thing. You own a home.
Every day since this man has passed, and y'all gotta chill.
Now they hold it.
Let me just say this.
Now they hold the tribute. They got full circle.
I want to come and play Kumbaya.
They got
appeal
full
to people's senses, and he had a family. Bitch, we don't give a fuck. We do not care.
Well, I thought it was a tribute.
We said we sorry. He shouldn't have got shot down. We don't agree with that. That's not what we agree with. But bitch, stop trying to tell black people to fucking have sympathy for people who hated us when they were here. Get the fuck out of here. This is why black people are the way they are in this country. Because y'all patronize us and try to play in our fucking face every time. Bitch, we watched for a decade black people get shot on camera. On fucking camera. And none of you motherfuckers got in here and did none of this. Y'all didn't do none of this twisting and turning. But soon as a white boy died that hated us, y'all want us to motherfucking show our humanity. Man, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. that serious. Any of
That's
y'all
not
white people
true.
that's on that,
That's
I'm
not true.
fucking, I don't, shut your fat ass up, bitch.
No,
I'm not done
gonna shut
talking.
my fat ass
Y'all
up.
always got something.
That's not
trying to
true.
tell.
Because when Floyd
And
died,
this is the thing.
I
You
said
don't
the
know how to
same
shut
thing.
the fuck up. You think that you can talk over a black person when I'm talking because y'all are so indignant. Y'all are so privileged. Nobody has ever told y'all to shut the fuck up. Be quiet. Y'all think y'all can talk over people. Y'all think when y'all get mad, the world has to stop. That's not how it goes, bitch. And I'm so sick of y'all coming in here telling black people what to do and how to feel. Fuck y'all. We said we didn't want the man to die. That's all you getting.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I don't think anyone should be killed by anyone else ever. Like that's my own ethic, right? But the conversation I would be interested in is instead of going, round and around about this same thing of how people feel or they don't feel. We've talked about this so much. The conversation I'd be interested in having is around political violence and how we define that. Because I feel like political violence is too narrowly defined in terms of acts of physical violence. Now, speech, if you imminently call for harm to come to other people, like if you say, we should all take up arms right now and go over there and kill those people, that is considered political speech. But to me, the ambiguity is, where do you draw that line of what is considered calling for harm to come to other people? I find that to be too ambiguous, because I feel like, to me, there's a broader spectrum of what political violence is. And because of that, I feel like the statements that he made, I feel like they did engage in political violence, but I haven't really heard people talking about this part of it. So anyway, and I know there's other people who'd be like, nah, you can say anything, short of calling for somebody to shoot someone else, and then it's not political violence until we're getting physical. So that's not my perspective, but I'm just interested to hear what other people think about this.
Hi, Malik. Malak, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, I wanted to say, and good morning, everybody. A couple of things. I feel like, first of all, no, nobody should be killed. I know this has been brought up a million times, but I also feel like that particular comment or statement, not from you, but that particular statement about the whether he's killed or not is almost a deflection of why we got here. A lot of what he said, and there's a whole Wikipedia section that talks about the thing that cites the sources of things that he has said. There is political violence at a certain level. Black people in particular have always had to deal with folks when they start going down a rabbit hole talking about how it could be from small things ranging from how unqualified somebody is to very strange ideas about comparing Martin Luther King and Terrence, and you know who I'm talking about, the Supreme Court Justice. That's always been the problem with racism. There are some people who treat it as a personal opinion. I attended, and not to make it too political, I do see it sometimes from somebody from a conservative side, and I sort of get it to a certain degree. It's the idea that you're treating someone as an individual, and sometimes the people do see that as personal. But a lot of that, particularly on a political stage, especially on a political stage, has always been dog whistles for racism. And I think the problem that conservatives sometimes don't understand is that they stand on a lot of ideas. And a lot of those ideas aren't necessarily bad ideas, but ideas can be corrupted. It's the same thing when someone says that someone's being Christian and they're still using racist terms. In fact, if you look at the Ku Klux Klan, that history, there was a little bit of mix of Christianity with racism, the idea that we were destined to do this. So he didn't distance himself from that. That's a big part of the problem. So when people are upset and angry, particularly now, it's those statements plus where we are within this country. The idea that we are sort of relitigating racism at a certain level. Keep in mind, Kirk made $300,000 a year. And it's really almost saying he made it's $300,000 a year on conservatism, but it's also $300,000 a year on racial attacks that were not really structured in a way that I would call even intellectual, to be quite honest. It was done to get the people that they wanted to get. And I don't think it's really I think it's hard to ask people to be calm about that when these are dog whistles that have traditionally been used for racism, and no one separates that out. And the same thing when you talk about LGBTQ issues as well too. So I hope that builds on the conversation. And thanks for hearing me out. The top of the rising to you all.
Good day, top of the rising, brother.
How are you feeling this morning?
Hey, all smiles, brother. Despite the mainstream news, I am surrounded by solutions and not problems. Shout out to y'all, shout out to the stage, shout out to the chat. Hope everybody's eating and
I also
drinking
didn't
better
enlist
than ever.
Max Rice to attack you. All lies.
Likewise, beloved. Enter the room, First Lady, and all those responsible for keeping a strong social political network going here at the Clubhouse. Is a great room. Well, I assume the unmistakable 10,000-pound gorilla hanging upside down on the ceiling. It's hard to miss the Charlie Kirk story and his wife and Donald Trump and then
The greatest thing about this room is it goes all day long.
Orchestrators. And could this all be fake news? It's a pertinent cross-examination question. Given the light of 9/11 and other catastrophes, and when you connect the dots, Howard Hughes' network at TWA didn't fly the 767. They flew a 747. That was a raggedy, because the other one was not disposable. But nevertheless, we have so much going on here with Charles Kirk. This is a guy that wanted to fan the flames of diversity and not having any form of inclusion. So you understand, and I think he could have been well paid by the Donald Trump network or Netanyahu's network. They want to give this guy the Freedoms Award, one of the highest awards that he could pass out to anybody. I want to say this man is baby Jesus, a white Jesus. So all of the motives are questionable, and the news could be potentially fake, because just like if you all remember Teddy Olson, his wife was on the 9/11 flight and disappeared and reappeared. And some folks are saying that this guy has reappeared somewhere. So I don't know if it's fake news, all of it, some of it, but those things are definitely in the news. And I think we're just sent out to vilify we the people in a subtle manner. They would vilify our people to keep us out of the mainstream of operations in America. That's my take. I'll land my plane with facts, as I always do, and say my mind.
Yeah, it's been a lot going on. Surrounded it. Looking at somebody's PPR. I'm 100% with culturally, like, I don't understand if people are, you can't force people to care about something, but people can feel like this isn't right to kill someone on a public I don't think that's right.
No, but Patty, it's almost like they're baiting someone to say something negative, right? Like no one's saying nothing negative. Everyone is like, okay, the guy passed away. It's unfortunate, but what else do you want someone to say?
Right.
And that's the part I don't like, Haitian. It's like, okay, well, you know, you can't say how he was, or we gotta ignore the things that he said himself. We you know, it's given like Nazi Germany for real, because it's like you need to say this and make sure it sounds. Why would I do that?
Yeah, and then if you're just saying, you know, you don't agree with that type of violence, then it's like, oh, you guys said this, motherfucker. You didn't see what someone said. It's weird, bro.
I'll put it this way from my end of it too. The whole disagree to disagree thing works only if you can really, number one, if you can even know what's the shared value. When Kirk is spouting racism, again, like I said, clear dog whistles.
Oh, hail, fellow.
And
Welcome to my incredible production of super stupid people wasting all their time talking about nothing.
The debates are supposed
Post
to
the receipts in the chat, oh fellow.
Whether you build a highway across a state, or whether you build a data center, things that involve infrastructure that might impact several things down the line, a little bit more strategic. The sad part about that whole disagreement thing is that we don't apply that to those instances. We try to apply it to things that are unethical. And I think that's a big part of the problem as well. And one last thought before I land, I'm particularly interested in hearing what the motivation that gets assigned to Tyler. I'm not sure. I appreciate Cox for trying to kind of manage the moment. Governor Cox from Utah, but I don't entirely buy the idea that Reddit is necessarily the reason why this person would go and kill somebody. Social media can be bad, but it requires engagement. And I don't feel like they really are getting to it, but at the same time, the suspect is also not cooperating. So it'll be a while before we get to that point. But I'm more interested in the motivation, because I think that would help guide the conversation further about, you know, how do we get past this moment. And I'll land there.
Is it gonna be like a public? I'm assuming public and everything. The services.
The what?
Talking about that. The service.
The service? Yeah, I think. Well, not the service. I think. I know. I don't know.
There's a live stream today. I think.
This room.
I think there's a live stream wait today. I know that there's a service in Arizona at the Cardinal Stadium, like a public. Yeah. So that part I've read online.
The continuity of fake news is that the widow of Charlie Kirk. Could you imagine the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy and Caroline Kennedy coming to the mic and rocking the mic, and Robert Francis Kennedy or Dr. King, any of those there attempting to equate? Immediately she runs to the mic and says, we're going to build this movement, or we're going to have a continuity, using the blonde hair and the blue eyes to say, petrify those that may criticize these actions of Netanyahu, especially with fake news saying that the guy was the ally. He many times criticized Israel, and he labeled him as the guy that was so pro-Israeli. So, but then he buys time immediately with all that war going on.
We have reached critical mass and done it again.
Prime time television, worldwide television.
Enjoy the show,
especially
America.
American television, to tell us that this guy was his man. That was his point guard. So him and Donald Trump share a point guard in Charlie Kirk. It just has all the makings of it. I'm not saying it is fake news, but it has all of the components, much of the makings of fake news. And of course, we know that Donald J. Trump is the inventor, the producer, the orchestrator of fake news. And the attempt of the fake news. Trump created the fake news as a master of deception. The master. And public deception is one of the highest crimes that you could do as a public official, right next to malfeasance and violating or omitting the volition of the will of the people, which I'll land my plane on the facts as you know them to be, as always, by saying my.
No, that's a good point you raised there, brother.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, his wife. That we've never seen a 180 like that in politics, especially in like a JFK like assassination.
And then here comes the widow. Oh, my man's a good man. Let's build him up. As a mark.
Anything to deflect from Epstein, anything to deflect from Gaza, anything to keep them out of jail, because they're going to go to jail, both of them.
The potential is great. Possibilities may be special. That lady was Barbara Olson that was spotted after 9/11. She was a CNN reporter who happened to be the wife of Teddy Olson, who happens to be the Solicitor General or the big-time lawyer for the standing president, George W. Bush, at that time of the 9/11. And there was so much fake news from there. Just the faking about the building crumbling and the faking about the airlines and the connection, the faking at the Pentagon, and saturated with fake news. As well, this is saturated with fake news. And I think just have to expose these facts and check the wicked, because expose their wickedness and their attempts at being a fulfillment decoy, that we will see their futile attempts to manipulate the masses of the people is a high crime for real. I'll lay my plan on that fact. And I want to show you some of these are the real criminals that the National Guard should be going after at this hour, mama.
It was very powerful of his wife, though, to come out and say what she said, how she said it. I know she didn't name names, but that definitely took a lot of guts to get out there and do that. But you got to go all the way. You got to name names, or else, now you're a target.
Good morning, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to get my car parked. It's hard for me to, y'all can't hear anything. But what was y'all talking about? The last comment?
Just speaking on Erica and how brave it was for her to come forward, and even though she didn't name names, but to, seek justice and not want to lose momentum on that sensitive time frame, first 48 type shit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, she just lost her husband, so she's going through a lot. She's trying to pick up the pieces and try to figure out where they're going to go forward, at least with their business.
Yeah, that wasn't easy getting up there.
I agree. So let me see if I can find some other. We need to focus on other news for now, at least until the podcast come on, because there's more than just Charlie Kirk going on in the world, y'all. So, breaking. Let me see what's going on. ABC. Golly, everything is Charlie Kirk. It's NBC. Ooh. Okay, so this is some news. South Korea is probing for human rights abuses in the U.S. In U.S. raid as Trump insists foreign workers are welcome. So, this article says South Korea said Monday that it would investigate whether its workers suffered any human rights violations during a raid by U.S. authorities. Foreign workers are welcome in America, Trump said on social media Sunday, after the emotional return of 300 workers to South Korea. But their detention following a raid by immigration authorities at a Hyundai plant in Georgia has stunned the key U.S. ally. I understand the government is conducting a more thorough review with the companies to determine whether any human rights violations occurred, presidential spokesperson Kang Young-jung said in a press briefing Monday, according to the Yonhap news agency. The foreign ministry is looking at whether our demands were properly addressed, and the companies are still conducting their own reviews. There is a clip. Yeah, South Korea is not playing by their people. They locked their ass up, and because they were there illegally. But how you treated them while they were in prison, they're not playing that shit. Not what they did. So let me go ahead and play this clip real quick, at least until we're able to listen to this podcast.
Hundreds of workers detained in shackles in the U.S. have returned to South Korea, arriving to applause and dozens of cameras. Officials here telling journalists to not film workers' faces at the airport to protect their privacy. But away from the terminal, where workers reunited with family, how good does it feel to be home? Some spoke publicly for the first time about the immigration raid in Georgia that ignited a diplomatic crisis. These workers said it was like being in a movie with armored vehicles and guns pointed at us, he says. There was no way we could resist, so we all just surrendered and were taken. Others described the cold conditions and prison food. He says he's feeling, quote, nothing but joy to be home. The drama started September 4th when armed agents with ICE stormed a $4.3 billion battery factory being built by Hyundai and LG.
During a search warrant for the whole site.
475 people were rounded up there, accused by immigration officials of working illegally in the U.S. What type of visas they were on, or if they had visas at all, still isn't clear. U.S. authorities saying using foreign laborers hurts American workers.
We are sending a clear and unequivocal message that those who exploit our workforce, undermine our economy, and violate federal laws will be held accountable.
But the images of Korean workers carted off in handcuffs were on news channels everywhere, sparking outrage here over their treatment.
Pull-up is illegal!
South Korea's government chartering a plane and making a deal to bring them back. A lot of attention is being paid to these images of the South Korean workers arriving home safely and with dignity after an ordeal that could threaten relations with the U.S. The raid has set off alarms at South Korea's biggest companies that are pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into U.S. manufacturing, the sort of foreign investment President Trump has demanded in trade talks. The problem is visas. Companies here often use short-term B1s or B2s or visa waiver programs to get skilled workers onto projects. Even South Korea's president said there needs to be a better system, or companies here might hesitate to gamble on the U.S.
They're not there to take American jobs away, but semiconductors, electric batteries, there's not that much domain expertise in the U.S. right now. And for the Korean companies who invested a lot of money in the U.S., they need to send people there to execute on the business plan.
There's political fallout to deal with too, given how upset many South Koreans have been that an ally would treat their workers the way they did. I felt like this wasn't something that would happen in the America we know, he says. Even if perceptions of America change here, she says, I'm not sure that would actually affect the United States. Already, LG has confirmed that the opening of that battery factory will be delayed 2 to 3 months. One challenge, convincing the technicians building it to go back. Nobody is going to stay and work when it's like this, says this engineer. For now, the returning workers have been urged to rest. I'll cook something delicious to make them feel better, says this mom. And with that, he was heading home. Janice Mackey-Frayer, NBC News, Incheon, South Korea.
People said I didn't look like your average.
So, Patty, from what I read, a lot of them came on they had visas, but they didn't have the correct visas because the wait list was so long. So they came on business travel visa or business visa that doesn't necessarily allow you to work. But that's because, and I believe like the company warned them, or a warning was made to the company. Like, I think they were aware and they took a risk. The company was like, look, we're sending you out here. We need this done. And from what I read, they were actually training American workers on how to do these electric batteries. And those workers are not going to be trained anytime soon. Who knows if it will, I'm going to assume it's going to resume in a few months. But actually, the administration or Mark Rubio was trying to get them back. So, but they already left.
And this caused a domino effect because LG, another South Korean company, actually pulled out investment in America. So it's other companies in South Korea. They're paying attention.
Jeremy, you beat me to it. Yeah, like this is a slippery slope of fuckery, unfortunately. Like, for this administration to tout bringing back manufacturing and then go behind our partners who are leading manufacturing on the global stage is, I can't even fathom. But yeah, Jeremy, that's exactly what I wanted to come up with. But I don't think your middle America, suburban, make America white again understands that caveat of the scope of things, Jeremy, because I don't know if you've seen the lady on TikTok who was, praising herself for the whole raid in Georgia.
Yeah, she was gloating about it. And there's a lot of people in the comments from Georgia that have family members that were supposed to be working at that factory, getting trained, getting paid, and have like a future career, long-term career in that area, that it was in the comments. So it was she shot herself in the foot. When it comes to her campaign, if she's trying to be part of politics, you already lost a bunch of jobs before you even got into the job. So congratulations, she freaking how do you lose before you even start the competition?
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. And she's a Republican, so she stopped the project that Donald Trump had been begging for, and now they're pulling out. Yeah.
Yeah, here's what you want to put on a T-shirt. Racism is expensive. That's what it is. All the racism is costing hell. It costs how many billions of dollars in investment from Hyundai, right? That's how. And then again, other companies are paying attention and they're pulling out too. It's like, you know what? I'm not gonna put my employees at risk. My employees don't even want to go anymore. They're like, fuck this. I don't want to go there and train people. What, to get arrested and put in like a piss-smelled cell? You know what I mean?
I mean, well, who was working at the facility? Like who was working at the facility? When I just want to because I understand there was a raid, right? But I'm saying I have friends who work at Tesla. There's no raid on Tesla though.
It's like. Are you not listening to the?
You understand when a company starts, like a factory starts?
He's not, Jeremy. He's not listening to the conversation. He's not understanding the conversation.
I just got in the room. I'm just trying to get a little bit of context because I'm scanning. Like, yo, is there a real?
Rashad.
Wait a minute,
I
Rashad.
was just gonna tell you what was going.
I know. Wait, let me clarify the question. Let me clarify the question before everybody go crazy. Niggas like, oh, he ain't listening. Oh my God.
You bring up for.
I know. Let me finish the question before y'all go retarded. I understand there was a raid.
Don't use that word.
I understand there was a raid. I understand that. I'm saying I got friends who work. I have a friend who works at the Panasonic facility, right? They make the batteries.
So you just gonna repeat what you just said?
Yes. I'm repeating what I said.
I'm sorry.
I'm repeating what I said.
We all have ADHD.
I'm repeating what I said.
We don't need you to repeat
what I said. I'm gonna finish.
You're not gonna tell me what you're gonna finish because you're gonna be in the goo.
I'm gonna finish the sentence. I can't finish what I just said.
We don't need it.
Your sentence to the goo. So, Miss Hip Hop, go ahead. What were you saying? Would you like to explain it to him? Maybe.
Yeah. So Rashad, the point of view you were getting ready to explain has nothing at all to do with the raid that just happened in Georgia. And I was watching the stage in the conversation when you came in, so it was just picking up. The raids in Georgia was because of a local white woman found out about some South Koreans working there. She made a big hoopla. ICE raided them. Lo and behold, those workers were here on visas to train Americans on how to build batteries so that way Hyundai can hire and employ them. That's what we were talking about.
Did he leave?
Out of TV.
Don't call him dumb. He just wasn't paying attention.
The woman.
Which one?
Jeremy, First Lady put him in the goo because.
Hello, Haiti.
No, but he
Welcome to my room.
I don't see him.
We're holding Black America and gay men accountable. Finally. Thank you for joining us, Lil Haiti.
They were training Americans. Ain't that about a bitch?
But they wouldn't know that. She wouldn't know that because in her white mind, I have a bunch of Asian migrants who were in my community taking jobs for my fellow white Americans. That's how that looked to her. She didn't like it. It wasn't on brand for what her administration want their policies and what they want their America to look like. So she did what she could. And ultimately, her actions, gave us the result.
Was she not working for Hyundai at all? She was like this.
No, she does not work for Hyundai at all. She just lives in the neighborhood of the factory. She wants to run for office. So Pierre, this is her grift to become known online so she can run for office. She wants to be a congressional person.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, and she cost the area. I mean, how bad does that hit the economy? Like all that investment that came in, billions. They already built like the factory. They're training people already to work at the factory. Americans that'll take over. And obviously factories that don't just come and go. Like they're gonna be there and establish careers. It's gonna be schools are gonna be funded. Like there's a lot of shit that goes into a new factory getting built in your area. And she just threw a wrench in the whole operation.
No.
And now if you're South Korea or if you're the company, right? And you're like, okay, if more people don't want to go over there to train people, and we gotta look at other locations, you think they're gonna be looking at America to build their factories? They're gonna probably look at other alternatives, right?
So I was the child that wasn't quite listening. Who's this lady and what's she running for? I heard that part.
The lady that snitched to ICE is running for Congress in Georgia.
She's running for Congress in Georgia.
Well, she's trying to. She's trying to get clout right now. So that's why she put on TikTok that I'm the one that called the ICE on that big raid.
Oh, she was bragging about it.
Yeah, she was bragging about it. She was gloating. She was saying, I'm the one, I helped catch, 300, 400, illegal immigrants. And it turns out they all had visas. They were training.
I told y'all that day. I was like, they had, some of them had visas or something, because on the news that's what they were suggesting, but it was some kind of confusion. So now I'm glad the whole story has come full circle, and now we know, because at the end of the day, some of these situations we don't have all the information, but everybody just starts going crazy. And unlike this lady, that's exactly what she did. So do you think she did some investigation, or she just got whiff of it from somebody else?
I don't think she had much information. I don't think she had much information, but another layer to this. Mm-hmm. Why didn't ICE do an investigation first?
Right, that's exactly
how long does it take to establish a raid? You don't just be like, oh, hey, this is the new location in 30 minutes, guys. You guys ready? No. You got to get, how many people do you have to have ready with ICE in order to arrest 400 people?
So if I'm not mistaken, they were supposed to have done some investigation. That was part of the report in the beginning, saying that they were, aliens in this place for a while.
Women lie. Results don't. They just made this shit up. They got reported as a bunch of immigrants working and they on the raid. And the sad part about this, people got about 3 years before they can just make someone's life a living hell by just signing that ICE and saying, there's about 20 Mexicans living in this house.
That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, I think to Jeremy's point, which I love that he raised it up, if somebody's coming into a plant, you talk to the managers or somebody within who's managing that plant. That's not something that you go and say, okay, let's plan a raid, without having any conversation at all with the company at all. That shouldn't be making sense at any level.
You scope it out first, right? I mean, if you're a cop and you're trying to do a raid, you ought to make sure that you've got the right house. Typically, if you're a good cop, right? You want to make sure you got the right house, you got the right location, the facts line up. Otherwise, you're going to put your people in danger, right? You get the wrong house, and the homeowner is going to defend it like a person's supposed to. You're going to put your people in danger for no reason. So you want to make sure you're not only doing the right thing by getting the right location where the crime is happening, but also you want to make sure your people aren't put in unnecessary harm.
And all of that, she red flagged the people that actually, internally within the U.S., she red flagged them, and they are likely to lose their jobs. That's literally an immediate fire.
Well, so what about the people that they were training? Are you saying that they're out of a job? What's going on?
They're not getting trained right now. They're They're like everything's on hold.
They can't train themselves. They don't have anybody left over to train. Like you only need one.
Korean, South Korean, all of the stuff.
Train the Americans.
Yeah, they were training the first round of people to train the Americans.
That's cool.
So they're training everybody that's American because everything is in Korean, right? Everything is they're coming over and putting faith in America that hey, we're gonna train in American, but hey, we gotta at least train the first round of Americans so that way they can train the rest of the people. So they're translating basically all the training.
Plus, they may be dealing with something proprietary. That usually happens within companies. If Ford had a problem training people, unless it's something that's from a shared supplier, they really are very protective about going to, let's say, GM or going to somebody else to bring somebody in to train your people. And so it's, to Jeremy's point, there may be something proprietary there as well. That's also preventing them from doing that.
When they built our plant and they brought in the new AGV to move the, we use AGVs for a lot of different things. The big ones, I was working in marriage at the time, and that's where the body of the car meets the whole undercarriage, the engine, everything is connected to the car. And the AGVs were huge. They came from Switzerland. Them guys that built that thing, they didn't speak English. None of them. And they went so far as they got everything set up. They wouldn't even train the tradesmen on how to fix the AGVs that they broke down. So when you say proprietary, absolutely.
Got it. Thank you for the update. Thank you. Yep, we just got finished listening to a clip. So is South Korea? Is that? I know it's Korea.
Yeah, Hyundai is a car maker in Korea.
Yeah, so they are not pleased with the fact of how their citizens were treated. However, they're going back. They're going to investigate. Is that right, Patty?
Yeah.
Yes. So investigate how they did during that period of time that they were locked up. I want to welcome you to the stage. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Politically Correct. If you have been here throughout the day that we started on this wonderful Monday, yes, it is September the 15th, 2025. And we are approaching the 12 o'clock hour, midday. And we will be having, we will be listening to a podcast where they will be, what are they doing, Patty?
It'll be a tribute. It's J.D. Vance is hosting.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be special guests. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to be his last podcast, but it's the Charlie Kirk podcast.
Okay. So I'm sure the wife is going to pick this up moving forward. Well, according to her words, I don't know if she's going to, continue, but it sounds like she definitely has that thought in mind. Do you think so?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Okay.
Well, the interesting thing about him, sorry, I'm here, everybody, is that his whole thing was about women shouldn't work, right? They should be dedicated to their family and have more children. So I don't know how that's going to work if his audience, he's built his audience on that women shouldn't go to college and all of that stuff, right? Because you don't need it, because you're going to be at home tending to the children. So will his audience accept his wife taking over? Maybe some will, maybe some won't, but his whole thing was about, men, in power and the old school family structure of women staying at home.
I
think it's ironic.
I think it's going to be. Oh, go ahead.
Wait a minute. One second. Who else is trying to? So we got Pierre, Michael trying to speak. Okay. So that's a really good point. I think we need to have a further discussion about that after we listen. Because I'd really like to know what people would think about that. One mic on, was it P? Okay, Michael?
Yeah, I was going to speak, but give it a mic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Follow up.
Yeah, I think it's ironic that people like that, advocate for, women staying in the home, but they don't also advocating for the situation that made it to where women could stay in the home back when they could. And that is really good paying jobs where one income could support an entire household. And the one of the ways that made that happen was they had a 90% tax on the uber wealthy, and I want to say a 50% corporate tax. And because they had these high taxes, corporations and individuals were incentivized to spend money so they wouldn't pay taxes, and so they paid people a lot more. So it's kind of ironic that they want one side but don't want the side that actually makes that side work.
Okay, Pierre.
I think Sin raises a very good question. I think it's going to be a split. I think the men who want women to work at home will not follow her. That's more of a manosphere type problem. And I think that Kirk has sort of attracted that. Charlie Kirk attracted that in his audience. That's also, and Trump to a certain degree, to be honest with you, because otherwise you wouldn't see the split that we saw with black voters, with black men voting for Trump. But I think the women that will follow that, will follow Erica, there are folks who are kind of saying these things in very subtle terms, in terms of all these little dating videos and how to keep a person, that type of thing. I think there will be a small audience of women that will follow that. It just depends on how Erica moves forward. She technically has an opportunity to maybe change the narrative for Turning Point. I know it's kind of sounds like a pun, but she kind of does if she figures out how not to do the same sort of things. I'm not necessarily rooting for it, but she technically has the opportunity to make a change. But I have a feeling that may not happen, and I think we'll see a split between men and women a little bit about who will follow along. Because part of Charlie Kirk's appeal are things, and to be honest, part of Trump's appeal that people who voted for him, there's a certain mannish, I don't want to say tone, but maybe there are talking points that men, not that women don't have an opinion on, but men particularly gather towards. And I think that part, that's how we're ending up with this whole manosphere, which I know is a whole different topic, but that's partly why we're seeing so much of that going on right now. The whole idea of, you could be fixed if other people change their ways or straight down their ambitions for you. So we'll see, but I think it will be a split.
Thank you for that. I'm gonna say I definitely can see possibly a split. However, I can, depending on how she markets this, is really going to set the tone moving forward. Because I think a lot of people won't be paying attention to it. Sin brought it to our attention, and everybody's like, oh, yeah. But from their side, they just want to hear from her based off of the tragedy that just happened, right? So I think that will begin the gateway for her to even continuously have a voice. So, and who knows how that will transpire moving forward, but at least from the very beginning, I definitely see her, if she's up to it. She said that she is, but if she is up to it and I think from the very beginning that she'll have clarity to support just based off of the tragedy, if that makes sense. Does anybody else like to comment on the subject?
Good morning, everyone. I would like to comment.
Good day.
I would like to comment on the Hyundai. I commuted back and forth to work, and I saw the plant being built from the ground up, and the massive amount of work that they put into that facility is phenomenal. I passed through there a couple of weekends ago, and their parking space is just as big, and I only saw a few cars, so I guess those were the people that were training. But I said that to say there's no amount of the job that won't even, I don't know, this area I live in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district. And this area was building before she was reelected. And then the second time she was reelected, it pulled out a lot of money because a lot of the construction that was going on came to a close. They're also building a Microsoft facility here. So I don't know what kind of impact they would have, but seeing the facility and knowing that the raid had happened, it just, it touched me because I saw how massive and the money that they put into building it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for that. But they're not going to close it, right? So I don't know what the plans are, but I'm sure they're going to be able to continue to use it.
Look, they're going to close. I'm not sure if they're going to close it or not. But like you said, they were in here training people, and I can tell you the population up here, education, as far as younger kids, is very good. But as far as having trained older people, their population, education population is not good here.
Oh. Okay, Plum. Then Plum, on to meta news. I don't like the fact that they put the 18 plus. Clubhouse, if you're listening, she shouldn't have the 18 plus on there. That's a nice little cute little icon for yourself.
Yeah.
Did you report this?
Reported it several times, but I
really
no response from it. No.
Well, I hope the response that you need soon. And thank you for days. You should come on stage more often. We don't get to hear from you. Yeah. So let me check in with my friend Pate. Sister Pate, are you there?
Yeah, hold on. Let me look on Spotify real quick. Okay. Have it just trying to see if they.
I just want to let y'all know that the pastors are fighting. Really? Where? So it's 3 pastors. So obviously we all know Pastor Brian. So one pastor from Chicago is defending Mr. Charlie Kirk. And then Brian and another black pastor is giving him the smoke. Oh no. Yeah. Man, why can't we just sit this one out? I just don't understand. Pastor Brian a wolf. Not in sheep's clothing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just be quiet. I definitely have all 3 of the links whenever y'all ready. Why we want to get him back home? It's 3 different pastors. So I can play the Chicago pastor, which is speaking down on the Charlie Kirk situation. So he's speaking down about Pastor Brian and another pastor in regards to them saying that this young man is racist and all this stuff. And Pastor Brian, he goes and tells Pastor Brian, post a video of this young man being racist. So, Pastor Brian, he gave him a few videos. And then there's another pastor. But it's 3 different pastors. That's why there's a fight going on with the pastors. Yeah, I remember. And they're all black.
Cold Wars.
And all 3 of them are black.
Everybody want to try to be all sympathetic. This don't get us now. Let me tell you something. This is why I can't stand clones, because all that. Oh no, we okay, Master. We we love them too.
Yeah, that's how the Chicago pastor sounds. He sounds like that. But is it possible that they didn't have to say anything at all? Like did they even have to touch it? So this is the thing, right? As a pastor,
you gotta speak on it.
Not only you have to speak on it, but you ain't gotta worry about nobody fucking firing you. You already have your members, right? And nobody can fire you as a pastor. The members can fire you. That's his church. The members could leave? Exactly.
I don't know. I just feel like that whole and to each of them.
I mean, she was making a point. No, but I'm just saying, I don't feel like as a pastor you have to be worried about, oh my God, my job, I can't say this because I'm going to lose my job.
I mean, would Jesus back down from a debate? He called
this devil's advocate.
But I would definitely, I would want you guys to hear all three people and then for us to speak about it whenever you guys.
Everybody.
All right, so let me.
Everybody gets a. Let me just finish what I'm saying. Everybody gets a benefit of the doubt, and maybe we gonna die doing that. We're really gonna die trying to be like, well, let's just see what they saying. We're gonna die, and I really hope y'all stop that, because that will make me so. And how about that?
That's not what the Bible says.
I don't care.
But if you don't follow the Bible,
hold on, I'm not finished talking. So the whole wait and see and let's find out, and let's just give them a chance. So many black people in this country have gotten killed doing that. Also, so many black people have gotten killed fucking with the Bible in this country. And I'll land there.
So Patty, is the Spotify up?
Gemini came here Sunday.
Wait a minute, is the Spotify up or no?
It's going. I don't know, because I went directly to the Charlie Kirk show. I played. I think too many people are trying to log on.
Okay, keep trying. Let us know. Sandra, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Gemini came in with the same type of report after he came back from church Sunday, saying that a pastor that he's known forever and ever and ever was doing the same thing. So he said he had to think about it and pray about it and decide whether he's going back.
Okay, so the pastor was doing what the Chicago pastor was doing.
Yep.
Okay, so not what Brian or the other black pastor was doing.
Yep, he prayed for him, saying that
So I asked the question, did they have to touch it at all? If I were a pastor, I could just touch on it from the aspect of, hey, listen, we saw some horrific stuff happen on, live streaming, and I know some families may be impacted by it, some families may not, but we are praying for the family of their lost one, seeing something so horrific in this day and time. It is, it can definitely be troubling to everyone, right? So with that being said, we're just going to keep the family in prayer and hope that they get through this. And, we're praying for the nation. We don't want to see, fights and things like this break out. We're praying for peace, and just going to keep everybody lifted up. That's how I would have spoke on it. I don't have to go into detail. I don't have to say all the stuff. What I did was I was able to recognize it, touch it, give love, as well as spread love for everybody. That's it, that's all.
Yeah, First Lady, but this is the thing. Not everybody knows how to handle their emotions, right? So whether the emotion is sad, hurt, or anger. So when you see something like this happening, that everybody's standing by this man and making it seem like, oh, yes, he's all this, praise him, he's almighty. And they don't do that for the other side. When they lose a life, that anger comes out as of, it's 2025. We're tired. When the fuck is this shit gonna change? Right. Or we're gonna continue? So that's why I say that everybody's going to react in a different way. Whether they regret their reaction later on, or they don't regret it, they still are going to react how they choose to react.
Absolutely. And what I just gave was what I would have hoped all the pastors would have been saying. That's what I'm talking about. Before we got to this, that's what I'm saying. Why did they have to, not the people who are responding, but the people who are saying additional things that might hurt the other side? Instead, find a way to be neutral. That's what I was talking about. I'm talking about the previous step that got us to this now. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I was talking about.
This is what happens. Obviously, we have online church. Things go viral. So Pastor Brian had his service this past Sunday. What he said went viral. The other pastor, what he said went viral. Now this guy from Chicago decides to respond to viral from these two pastors and say, no, you guys are wrong. You guys are wolves. This and this and this and that.
Got it.
That's exactly what went on.
Gotcha.
When I decide to tell my congregation and speak in my church, you cannot tell me what to speak in my church. This is my church. So it's not like he went on a live feed and on a rant and saying, oh, this and this the way you guys are acting. No, it was a preaching. And he put it in his preaching for that Sunday.
Got it. I feel like
But I thought Brian. So then you hear, because he even said it. He said, I do not condone this. Anybody losing their life this way.
Right. Okay, so yeah, let's listen to it. Originally, when you were first saying the story, I thought Brian then was responding to him and what he said.
Oh no, the Chicago guys responding to them.
Exactly. Okay, got it. Okay. So which one are we listening to first? Are we listening to?
So we're gonna listen to the Chicago. So I don't know.
That's why I thought that he was first and started speaking, because you said you wanted to listen to Chicago. So I was like, oh, okay. So I thought he kicked off the beef. But you're saying that he's ending the beef by responding to these other pastors that have preached through, right?
All right, hold on. Let me see.
Okay.
Let me see.
I'm exhausted.
Don't be exhausted, because our heart.
Do you understand?
Love, our heart is still beating, so we can't be exhausted. Yeah. We can't give up.
Yeah, but every time something happens, you got people telling black people, all right, well, so be nice, and then if you be nice to them, and then if you show love to them, then fuck all that. This is why black people got attitudes in this country all the time, because shit goes to hell with us, and then people always want to tell us, all right, so y'all gotta be nice, turn the other cheek, because Jesus said, and bitch, I do not give a fuck. I really don't. And I understand why niggas be on edge. Because since we have had this, that's the first thing they did. Turn to black people. All right, y'all. Y'all gotta feel this way. Bitch, we ain't even do shit. I hate this country.
No, I got the podcast. I had to go to YouTube because it's like crashing on his website. So let me go ahead and play this.
An incredibly brave soul. I'm not sure if you saw her remarks after Charlie died. If you haven't, I would encourage you to go and see them, because you see this raw grief and incredible courage all in the same moment. And that's what we need right now. We need to grieve, but we also need this courage in this moment more than we've ever needed it. She gave me a hug, and she was heartbroken, as of course she would be. And she said that she loved him so much. And I said, Erica, he loved you so much.